I'm Tamara.
Murphy.
I'm Tamara.
I'm Rell.
And this is Fearful Friends Podcast. Thanks.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm just still out of breath from my gigs. Murphy.
Let me get him a pillow. I don't know what to do. Matt, get home now. Can you hear this? I have returned.
This is the part where I go, how is your week?
Hard. I was going to say long, but it was not long. It like fucking flew by. I still think it's Monday and it's Friday. And just like a lot of like weird, angry people this week.
Right? It was a weird week. They were like weirdly needy. Like just real fucking needy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like
Why?
because I think their parents coddled them.
Yeah.
I don't even have words for it. Like, you just, like, every grocery store is, like, laid out kind of the same.
Yeah.
So, like, don't ask me where the bathroom is. Don't ask me where the lettuce is. Don't ask me where the eggs are when there's a giant sign on the ceiling that you can see from the front of the store. And then I had some other guy today. So I'm like filling juice and stuff, and he's like standing behind me with his arms crossed, just like looking at everything I have. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm sorry I didn't see you there. Like I can move out of the way." And he's just like, "No, you're good, you're good. I don't think I need anything in that door. I'm looking for a small bottle." And I'm like, "Oh, a small bottle of what?" And he was like, "I don't know. It's just for a sample." And I'm like,
What?
What? And I was like, okay. So I just like kind of started working again because he said he didn't need me to move. And then he like just keeps like reaching into the door, like right beside my face. And like his BO is so fucking stank. I had to like fucking hold my breath. And so then I like move my cart. I back up out of the way.
Like, no. You know what? Let me get out of your way, sir.
Yeah. So I moved. I'm like looking around because this is like the one door I'm working in. And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, oh, you didn't have to move. I'm just looking for the right size bottle." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you know, we have like really cheap bottles of water up front. If you just like need the bottle, you can just buy that." And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, it's like a 4-ounce size." And I'm like, no, we don't carry a 4-ounce size bottle of water, like a shot size what? So he's just like, it's fine. Like, you get back to work. Like, I'll look for what I need. I don't think I see it here.
I would have been like, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Go check it out.
So I get back to work. And he reaches over me again. And is just like, "Oh, yeah. This stuff has some really cool ingredients in it." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's juice." Like, it's great. And he's just like looking at it. And he's just like, "Yeah, you have anything for tremors?" And I was like,
"What?"
"I just work here. I am not a doctor." I said, "Maybe the ladies up in the vitamin department will have like a little bit more information because like they're trained for like not diagnosing, but like, you know, for this malady, we have these options, you know."
Mm-hmm.
I just work in the dairy department.
But do you
Tell me what kind of milk you want. But don't tell me that you have like hemorrhoids
for diarrhea.
Like, "Do you have anything for tremors?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So I directed him up front. He was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And he put that juice back and he's like, I'm done. For real this time, I'm done." So I go back in the door and I start working it again. And he fucking reaches over me again. And at that point, I just like packed up my shit and went back to the back room because I was like, I'm not doing this today. I'm over it. He stinks. He smells. And then we were talking earlier in the week about that lady.
Oh, before we get into that, what was that man's problem?
I do not know because he never did end up with a bottle. I'm sorry. That was me. I hit the microphone. He never did end up with a bottle. I think he just like literally wanted someone to talk to and he just like wanted to be in my space. And like, that's just like that's one instance today. Like, I have been assaulted by people all day long who just like, they don't know the meaning of personal space. They're always in my fucking bubble. And they're just like mean. Like, this one lady was just like, I'm not going to get into it. Anyways, we're not here for that. Just, like, so many things. Like, by the time I got off of work, my throat was, like, raw from screaming in my car.
Oh, God.
Like, and then, like, in between, like, trips to the sales floor, just going into my cooler and just being like, fucking people! You know? Sorry if you have to edit that out. But, like, I just don't have it in me anymore. So this lady, I texted you at the beginning of the week because I was just, like, so uncomfortable. She was, like, shopping, and she had her cell phone in her hand, and she's listening to the sauciest, smuttiest fucking book, like, audiobook, on speakerphone out loud while she's shopping. And I'm just listening to it, and it's just like, he stroked her, and she got warm. And it was just, like, it, like, devolved from there. And she was, like, standing next to me for, like, 10 minutes, and I'm just like, ma'am, there are kids in here. Like, so then she came back a couple days later and did the same thing. She's just like, this, it's like the same book, but like maybe like every chapter is like a new sex scene. I'm not really sure, because it was like the same reader. And then she was in again today. Same thing. She's just shopping. She's got her phone up here right next to her ear, like it's on speaker, but like it's so loud. It's just like so ridiculous. Like, whatever. She's a fucking Instacart shopper. She is just like getting wet while she's shopping your order.
Oh my God.
And she probably goes into her car and flicks her bean with your can of black beans. I don't know. Like, I know you've got to squeeze in intimacy somewhere, but perhaps like save it for when you're not working.
Not touching people's food.
How was your week? I hear that you're also being followed.
Yeah, they came back in today.
She's being followed by the people from the brewery that she hates. She keeps like sending me pictures of like her like peeking out her blinds at work, and she's like, "There's the van. There's the van.
It's back. It's back." Yeah, I don't know. Just irritates me every fucking time I see them. It's like, why are you back? You were here yesterday. Do you not know you have a business today? Did you think yesterday was the end of it?
Businesses that go to the bank every day, Tamara. They need change. They need to deposit their money. She is so mad right now.
First of all, it's not even fucking true. I can get it.
Do people not do drops every night?
Yes, I can get behind a deposit. But when you fucking come in for $50 in tens and a roll of nickels,
$50 in tens. That's 5 bills. I'm thinking like a hundo or 1,000 strip.
No, and I'm like, okay.
You know that's their personal money, right? That's like, I just needed change to like pay my pot dealer tonight.
He takes nickels. The only reason I remember that is
rolls are for $2.
I had one roll of nickels left in my vault, and he thankfully asked for one roll of nickels.
How did the bank run out of nickels?
We didn't. I have like very many vaults, but like,
okay, I was like
my
really
sales
worried.
Like vault that was out there. I'm not going to like go in the back and open up a new box. It was like my last one.
Fair.
I wasn't gonna.
It was like your little baby nickel.
Yeah. Now, next person that needs nickels, I have to go back into my other vault and open up a box of nickels.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah, because then I have to take them all out and tray them up and then bend over and put them in my vault that's literally on the floor. I don't know why.
Hopefully you're bending the right way.
That's the first time I threw out my back was doing that.
Don't joke with coins. I almost said choins. Don't joke around with it. They're very heavy. They're small but mighty.
And it's like they come in with like no plan. Like he'll be like standing there waiting in line with his money in his hand.
Like 3/4. Can I have $1?
He's just like not even looking at it. And then he gets up to me and he's like frantically trying to figure out what he's got in his hand. He's like, "Oh, can I get..."
Because he's putting on a show so that you count it for him.
He counts it still. He just doesn't even know what he wants. He's like, "Can I get, I guess we can do 20 in ones." And he's like flipping it over, 10. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Maybe write it down. Maybe like take a beat and write it down before, just like I do with my fast food order. Write it down. Go off the list so I don't forget anything or say anything wrong or forget someone's fucking hot sauce. Put it on the list. It won't be forgotten.
Yeah. I just don't get people, and I'm just getting sick and tired of the fucking monotony.
We should start a company. I don't know what it would be. I think it should be something like in Step Brothers when they're like, you know, whatever that company is that they do. Something worldwide. Prestige worldwide.
Okay.
And it's like, what do you do? Everything.
Yeah.
Just give me money. Just give me money. Yeah. Did you see that? Did I send you that thing of that one girl who was like, you need to manifest like your future, blah, blah, blah. Like you'll be able to pay your bills. You'll be able to do this, that. And like the whole time she's like opening up a can of tuna, flapping out a brand new pair of underwear, rubbing the tuna on the underwear, and then mailing it. And she's just like, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to the post office. Manifest your destiny.
The amount of times I thought about opening up my account on All Things Worn so I could sell my shoes this week. Cause
just this week?
Hi. Yeah.
You got some stinkers? Some stinky shoes?
Yeah, and they pay really good for shoes.
Really?
I don't know why. They didn't want anything else. They wanted my shoes, though.
You could get Dollar Tree shoes. Stank him up. Have Murphy sit in the shoes. He smells like a foot all the time.
Yeah.
You won't have to wear them.
I don't know what it is, but to each his own. And if you're paying, I'm supporting that.
If you buying, I'm selling.
They were like, literally, they wanted to pay $150 for one pair of shoes. Okay?
How long did you have to wear them for?
I mean, they were my work shoes that I wore every day, but like, all of my shoes are
I've just been throwing away my old work shoes this whole time. I could have been making $150.
Yeah.
I've got beautiful toes.
They don't even care about your toes.
I even shave them.
They it's about the shoe.
I thought it was about the foot in the shoe.
No.
Oh, so they're attracted to the shoe. They're not thinking about the foot that was in the shoe.
Specifically that it was worn and most of the times dirty and smelly. Well, I'm sure there's like different things for different people, but that's just what was my experience with them.
Well, let me know if you get back on that site because I've got some merch to move. I've got some merch to move, and maybe we could go splitsies.
Okay. Deal.
I was just gonna throw them away. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew there was a market for shoes with a hole in the toe?
Yeah. Want to go to Goodwill?
That's probably gonna be better. Think about it. It's like a Fleshlight, but it smells. Well, I guess. All right. We are deranged today. Anyways.
Oh.
Are you ready for my story? I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Why are you sorry?
I just kind of derailed us.
I loved it. Tell me more stories. Tell me things.
I do have a really interesting story, and it's not spooky or morbid.
Okay.
But it is a continuation of one of my previous stories that you asked for.
Okay. I do remember asking.
Well, I actually have a couple that I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm just like, nah, I'll do it later when I'm dead. Okay. My story today is going to be kind of a continuation of my last story, The Secret, The Treasure Hunt.
Okay.
But this is a deep dive that I thought was going to be a mini-sode, but then I was like, must do all the information!
Okay.
And it seems very long, but maybe I'll read it quick.
Okay.
So, long story short, she has a question, yes.
I was just making fun of you because you do that to me all the time at the beginning of my stories.
I always have questions, and I know if I save them to the end, I will forget them. Also, I don't have my notebook in here anymore where I can write my questions down. Please interrupt if you have a question.
Hold all questions till the end.
Please don't. Oh. You'll forget, just like me. So, The Secret, A Treasure Hunt, not to be confused with some other book of the same name.
Treasure Hunt and everything?
No.
Oh.
Every single
Secret.
Yes. Every single article I read was this is based on the book The Secret, not to be confused with the other secret. And I'm like, I know. So it's an illustrated book that contains a series of poems, riddles, and paintings that, if solved, will lead to a buried ceramic cask, each containing a key. I feel like this part really confused you last time. You were just like, there's no treasure.
I still feel that way. Like, if you're going to bury
when you hear my story, you'll be like, oh, okay.
Okay, it was just a letdown.
You said it yourself.
I swear to God.
Is in the tree.
But it was just a letdown to me because I was picturing them digging for treasure, and it's treasure.
Digging
and
for
then
treasure.
It's like,
for glory.
No, you go on this like thing and you go on a treasure hunt, and then you get it and you're like, I found it.
Yeah,
but it's not even.
That's what happens.
You didn't find your treasure. Now you
did
have to take the key to.
Yeah, that's the treasure, though.
The treasure isn't a key. I want to go on my treasure hunt and dig up buried treasure, not a friggin' key.
That's the treasure. If you only realized how hard these puzzles were to solve, then you would understand. I think
it was just a letdown. I understand it, but I was disappointed.
Read you one of the poems, and then you'll be like, "Yeah, I don't know." Okay, are you ready for me to go on?
I'll try. Yeah.
Okay, so each ceramic cask contains a key that will be returned to Byron Price, the author of the book, in exchange for a small jewel or stone worth around $1,000. But honestly, the true prize for solving the puzzle is the fact that you solved the puzzle. It's bragging rights. So let's get started. Let's talk a little bit more about the man that started this madness. Byron Price was born April 11th, 1953.
Pause. I hate the name Byron. Can we call him Brian?
No, because I'm offended. You have to cut this out. He is deceased. That's rude.
I'm not cutting it out.
You can't talk about the dead like that. And there's also another Brian in the story, so we can't make him
okay
Brian.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll just be too confusing. He was born in Brooklyn, New York. He graduated magna cum laude. And cum is spelled C-U-M. And I had to Google it.
You're
and
dirty.
It means, I'm sorry. It means he was like excellent in education. So,
okay. Is it like valedictorian? What does that mean?
That's what I looked up, and it said excellent.
Can only one person have it, or is it like a group?
Don't know. I didn't go to college. And I can barely do math. So maybe you should Google it in your own time, but not right this second.
Okay.
Because you need to pay attention. So he was super smart. He graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 1972.
UPenn. It's a joke. So sorry.
And then he attended Stanford University, where he got his master's degree in
hold on, pause. Stanford or Stamford?
Stanford.
Okay. Sorry.
Whoa, what are you doing? Why did I think that was a chopstick? I was like, why do you have a chopstick in your bottle of water, and why are you licking it? Because my chopsticks are metal. And I don't even use them. I just like poke my plants with them to see if they're ready to be watered. Hey, that's my plant poking thing. Okay. What was the last thing you heard? Oh, Murphy's humping a pillow. That's so I'll let him have it. It's his birthday.
Oh. Happy birthday, little buddy.
You deserve it. Get him. So, in 1974, he would found Byron Price Visual Publications, where he focused his attention mainly on graphic novels, comics, illustrated books, and children's books. Fun fact, he was responsible for publishing a few celebrity children's books, which is creepy to me, but...
What?
Yeah, like celebrities who write children's books.
Oh, he published them. Okay.
Yeah, he published them for people like Billy Crystal, Jane Goodall, Jay Leno, Leanne Rimes, and Jerry Seinfeld. He also did like a bunch of work with like Stan Lee and like Marvel Comics and stuff like that. He was like all over the place. And he would go on to be recognized as a pioneer in digital publishing as he fully embraced new technologies as they came up. In 1979, a book called Masquerade was published in the United Kingdom. It featured clues and illustrations that would lead to a jewel-encrusted hare, the bunny.
Okay, thank you.
Could you imagine like a strand of hair?
That's really what I was picturing.
I was like, what's a hare? Buried somewhere along the British countryside, which is like so quaint. This book sparked huge interest in so-called armchair treasure hunt books. And with that, Byron set off in creating his own version, where he'd up the ante by burying not 1, but 12 treasures across the United States.
Pause, sir. You didn't bury treasures. You buried fucking keys.
I will kill you!
You have to turn it in for the treasure.
It is treasure. It is treasure. The cask itself is worth money as well. It's worth $500. It's hand sculpted. Yeah. Suck it.
Whatever.
So yeah, he buried the shit across United States and Canada. Are we gonna fight? Do you want to fight?
No, I want to fight Byron.
Well, you can't. He has since passed. Rest
I want to fight
sir.
everyone that calls it treasure.
His book was launched in 1982, and it contains 12 poems. Here's the thing that confused me. All right. It contains 12 poems and 12 paintings. But there's 220 pages, apparently? What's on the other 100 and something pages?
Maybe they're very long poems.
They're not. It's like 1 page tops.
Well, it also said it was an illustrated book, so maybe
he
like, just
they're
has
like single paintings.
Pictures of himself.
His peace sign. Okay. 12 poems, 12 paintings. Each poem corresponds with an image, like one of the paintings. And it's up to the treasure hunter to determine which goes with which. So they're not like side by side, this goes with this. You have to figure out which matches. And hidden in each painting is a specific month, a time, a flower, a birthstone, and a latitude and longitude location, all of which will help to narrow down the location of the casks. That's fucking, it's like a little like hidden picture thing. It's like Where's Waldo or something. You know, it's just so cool. So, due to the dedication of various treasure hunters and puzzle solvers, we at least know the city that each cask can be found in, just based on like some of the clues found within the paintings. And then these were confirmed by the artist who actually painted the paintings, John Palancar, I think is how you pronounce his name. So we've got one in San Francisco, Charleston, Roanoke, Cleveland, Chicago, St. Augustine, New Orleans, Houston, Montreal, Milwaukee, Boston, and New York. Byron commissioned the treasure casks to be sculpted in June of 1981 by Joellen Trilling. Byron would wear disguises like maintenance worker uniforms, and he would just like go into like random parks and start burying the casks so that nobody would bother him.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he did this in the winter of 81 and 82. The casks themselves were very intricate, each having details sculpted into them that connects back to the corresponding poem and illustration. And inside the lid of the cask is a painted clock, and the hands of the clock will match the clues from the puzzles. Like the hands of the clock will match the month and the time that corresponds with the painting, which also will correspond with the birth stone, which is the gem you will get at the end. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was confused at first, but yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why, but like it does make sense.
Everything connects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess it was just like a way of being like, here, I found this cask, and the lid says, like, the hand is pointing to 8. So you're going to get the birthstone for month 8, or whatever.
But they already know that.
Yeah. According to the book, quote, the treasure casks, there were rules, so these are the rules. Quote, the treasure casks themselves are of incalculable value, never having been owned by man or woman. Every treasure cask is buried underground at a depth of no more than 3 to 3.5 feet. The casks are protected by lustrous, transparent boxes and are sealed. The following places do not hold any treasure: any life-threatening location, such as a dangerous highway embankment, a contaminated area, or active railway track; any cemetery; any public or private flower bed; any property owned by the contributors to the book, their families, or friends. Unquote.
That you know of. Things change.
That's the thing. I don't think he realized it. Byron fully expected his treasures to be found pretty quickly. He thought the poems and stuff like that, like the clues were like, it's a thinker, but like surely they will be solved like within at least a year or maybe 2 years. He even thought like his first puzzle would have been solved within like 30 days. Mm-hmm. But it seems like the clues were like way harder to decipher than he had envisioned. And I don't think he factored in the passage of time, to be honest. Like if these weren't solved, construction, landscaping, everything changes with time. We're talking this was in 82. It's 40 years later. As of today, only 3 casks have been found, which is really sad.
Oh.
Yeah. So, the first was found in August of 1983, just 1 year after the book's publishing. 3 friends, Bob, Eric, and David, had put their heads together and matched up image 5 with verse 12. In the image, you can make out the outline of Illinois, and after that, they were able to put together clues that led them to identify specific landmarks that ultimately led them to the Chicago area. They didn't solve the location on the first try, though, and kept coming up empty-handed. They had even called Byron's office because they wanted to know if, like, maybe the treasure had been possibly claimed already. And when they spoke to his secretary, they told the boys there wasn't a treasure buried in Chicago. They're like, you're wrong. But these guys were like, no, there definitely is. Like, all of these clues point to, like, this one general area. Mm-hmm. And they were just like, we want to talk to Byron himself. So they called back the next day, and Byron told them, quote, "You have the answer. I don't see why you can't find the right spot." Unquote. So the boys kept digging holes all over this park, Grant Park in Chicago, which is like where all the clues had led them to. And they just kept turning up nothing. And in a last-ditch effort, they begged Byron for one last clue. In response, he sent them like a snapshot, like a Polaroid or something, of the freshly dug hole where the cask was buried. And with that, the boys went back to the section of the park that they recognized from the picture, dug 3 feet down, turned up nothing once again.
Oh,
God. One of the boys was standing in the hole, and they were like about to fill it back in and just give up. And he took a step back, and some dirt knocked off the wall of the hole, and boom, there was the plexiglass box, and inside the first treasure. The cask itself was worth $500, and the gem they were sent was an emerald valued at $1,200. There is treasure! The second treasure would be found 21 years later. Isn't that fucking insane?
Oh my
He
God.
was just like, this shit's gonna be solved, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be great. 20 fucking years went by. In 1982, when, the book came out, this guy, he was a University of Pennsylvania student named Brian, and he set his sights on image 4 and devoted himself to solving it. He was like, I don't know, like, there's something about this picture, like, I just feel like I resonate with it. He's hyper-focused on image 4. It stayed in the back of his mind until May of 2004, when he just happened to give it a Google to see if anyone had solved it yet. No one had, but now with the internet being a useful tool, he was able to do a lot more digging, and after a few searches, he was able to connect image 4 to verse 4. And following the clues, he determined that the treasure should be on the Cleveland Cultural Gardens in Ohio. Brian grabbed his friend Andy, who is definitely the skeptical one, and they went to go dig for the treasure. When they arrived at the Cleveland Cultural Gardens, Brian was fucking stoked. He immediately started recognizing landmarks from the poem and the painting, and he knew he was in the right place. There was really only one slight hitch. Right in the spot where they needed to start searching, a wedding was being set up. Could you fucking imagine in your wedding picture some fucking deranged, sweaty man just digging in the dirt? He's not man's man. He's just wearing a fucking t-shirt and some shorts. Like, get the fuck out of here. So they booked it over to one of the gardens. Thankfully, the place where they wanted to dig was like just hidden enough from the wedding guests that it like they wouldn't really be noticed too much.
Too much.
I know. They were just like trying to get it over with before she was fucking like walking down the aisle. They dug for over 4 hours and came up with nothing. And once again, they were about to give up when Andy, the skeptical one, had an idea. They were like digging in this one like big concrete like flower bed thing. And
how do you dig in concrete?
It's not like it's like a flower bed thing, but it's like raised. It had dirt in it.
Okay.
It was just like raised. And like the clues were like you walk up these steps and then, you know, you count 10 stone from right to left or whatever, and that's where the treasure is. They were digging on like the left side of this big square thing. And then Andy was just like, well, but like, what if it meant like when you're facing away from it or whatever, and you count from like right to left? So maybe we should try the other side. And
he was thinking that the whole time. He thought it from the very beginning.
I got like really annoyed because he's just like the skeptical friend that was like, I thought he was crazy. And like, he's in every single article just like, yeah, it was me that solved it. I'm like, you're just... okay, Andy. So they were about to give up when Andy had an idea, and he walked over to the other end of the garden area and he probed the soil. The probe bent, and they were just like, that's it. It's over. Like, we fucking broke our probe, whatever. But when they
what did it bend on?
Right. When they pulled it out, they heard a scraping noise. Like it hit something. And looking closer, they found shards of clear plastic. And they got like super excited and they started digging in the dirt, and they started pulling out pieces of like pottery. 5 hours after they first started digging, they had finally found a treasure. And when Brian returned...
the box.
This is the funny part. When Brian returned home, he emailed Byron to claim the treasure, which was supposed to be an aquamarine stone worth about $1,000 back in 1982. So it's probably way more now.
My aquamarine
Is that aquamarine
stone. Yes.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, that's what they got. That's
for
adorable. March. Yeah, they were like all birthstones. I thought that was really interesting. I hate my birthstone. It's pink.
Mine is just a diamond.
That's cute.
It's nothing. It's not colorful and pretty. It just looks like
you
normal.
You can have mine. I hate pink. Okay. So yeah, he like emailed Byron, and then Byron admitted that he'd like misplaced the key to the bank vault that held all the jewels.
Oh my god.
So funny. After 4 months, though, Byron must have found the key because he invited Brian and Andy out to the bank vault.
Just call Diebold. They'll come open it for you.
I just thought it was funny. He's like, I know you found this treasure after like 20 years, but it's been a really long time, and I don't know where that key is. That was like 6 moves ago.
What treasure? Oh!
I forgot I did that whole thing. So yeah, he found the thing, and he invited the guys out to the bank vault where the jewels were kept, and Brian said getting the stone was actually kind of anticlimactic. He said
exactly. That's exactly my point.
He said Brian just like handed him the stone and told him, "Congratulations, here's your jewel." And then they shook hands, and that was it. I just think it's
At least
funny.
invite the newspaper.
So funny. Well, they did have they did inform the news. There were like journalists at the garden where they were digging, and like the journalists were like walking away, and they were like, "Wait, we found it!" It's funny. I almost just showed you my vagina again. Sorry.
You're really excited.
Keep them together. I just want to air it out, you know, and I'm just like, whoa. Okay.
As long as you don't thrust it at me.
Sorry. We're getting sad now. Unfortunately, that would be the last treasure that Byron would hand out. July 9th, 2005, just 1 year later, he was involved in a tragic car accident that claimed his life. He claimed that should he pass away before all the puzzles were solved, the responsibility of the remaining treasures would be left to his family. Sadly, this doesn't seem to be the case because his wife has said on numerous occasions that she doesn't know the exact locations of any of the casks, and she's made requests to not be contacted anymore regarding the treasure. But they have the jewels. It is in like their estate. Those didn't just disappear when he died. So they have the jewels. They don't know where the treasure is, though. So, like, people keep coming up with, like, fake fucking casks. And they're like, I get this thing. I found it in the ground. It must be a thing. And they're just like, no. I don't know where they are, but that's not it. Like, his were, like it said in the rules, like, they were very intricately designed. And each of the casks have, like, carvings from the painting in them. And they're also signed by the artist. It's, like, a whole thing. Like, you can kind of suss out a fake. Like, some of the fakes I've seen, it was just like, did you even try? It's like, Wish version fucking treasure cask. So, yeah. There is an address in the back of the book that you could send potential solutions to for the treasure. Like, I think it's here, you know. And in response, you will get a letter from the publisher that says, quote, Byron took the locations of the casks and keys to his grave. Neither the estate nor I know their locations. We are recoding the possible solutions by date received. We will honor the reward upon presentation of a cask/key. Byron's estate is in possession of the jewels. Good luck on the hunt, and please ask for permission before a dig.
So can we write to that now and get a letter?
That letter was actually sent in 2018. So yes, I feel like, yeah, because it's the same publishing company.
Okay.
So, in 2018, Discovery Channel's Expedition Unknown generated tons of new interest in the hunt. And even if it's unclear if you'll get a gem at the end of the search or not, everyone still wants to solve a mystery. And the treasure is not about the jewel. The treasure is about solving the fucking puzzle. It's a 40-year mystery.
I mean, I get it, but it's just, you can't call what is you find what you're burying. They weren't
Everyone's definition of treasure is different.
They weren't actively burying treasure that they were.
It is treasure.
I'm just saying.
It is treasure. So, in season 5, episode 4 of the show, y'all should watch it. It's fucking great. I actually like rewatched it after I did all my research and everything, just to like refresh my memory on like all the faces and stuff. And I cried. I cried when they found the treasure. And like Matt came home and he was just like, you know, you've already seen this several times. And I was like, I know, it just gets me every time.
You're such a nerd.
Like 40 fucking years. Anyways.
Oh my God, you're crying now.
It's a big deal, Tamara. Okay. Anyways. Season 5, episode 4. Check it out. Josh Gates goes over the history of the hunt and where we're at with all the clues we have. He goes to like a couple different cities where they have like potential leads. And I'm just like, follow that, Josh. They're close to something. All of those clues adds up. Like one of them, I felt like he was in the right fucking spot, but then it started like lightning storming and his crew was just like, we gotta go. Like now, stop digging. And I don't know if they ever went back. And I'm just like, I think you had it. Every single clue was there. Really upset me. So yeah, he goes over like everything with the hunt. And, you know, by the end of that episode, nothing is solved, which is kind of like what happens in all of his episodes. But to Matt and I's surprise, Josh revisits the treasure hunt in season 7, episode 12 as a surprise season finale. It was like breaking news. He had like filmed it and then put it up that week because it was like such breaking news.
Okay.
Where they were there to film the excavation of the 3rd treasure box being found. Okay. I'm so excited. So, the 3rd puzzle was solved by a dude named Jason.
Oh my God.
And he was a local Boston man.
Oh, even worse.
But he has
we
a normal...
would not get along.
He has a normal accent, and like in the episode, Josh like walks up to him and he's like, "Oh, you're a Boston man, I'm a Boston man, I guess we can talk normal." And he's just like, "Yeah, guess so." It's really funny. And then Josh is like, "You want to go get a lobster roll?" And he's like, "Sure." Like, So it was actually like really cute because he said like he had never really heard of this before, like the puzzle book or anything like that. And he like he creates puzzles and like video games for his job, which is like really interesting. And I guess like one day,
yeah, me too. I have such a cool job like that.
That is a really cool job. One day his kids were watching Expedition Unknown and they were just like, "Bro, have you seen this? Like, this is wild." And it's like right up your alley. And he was just like, "Hey, like we potentially have one here in Boston. Like, let's fucking look into it." And this cute little family like worked together and like solved these clues.
Aww.
I know. So with the help of his family, he was able to match up image 11 and verse 3, which led him to believe that the treasure was located somewhere in Langogne Park.
Okay.
In Boston's North End. Do you remember from my molasses episode that park, Langone?
No.
I'm going to say it both ways because I'm not sure how it's pronounced. When I looked it up, it said Langone, but then Josh says Langone. And I was like, ooh.
It's probably what they call it now.
Like linguine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. It's in Boston's North End.
Oh, fuck you, bro.
He was thinking of ideas of how he could get permission to just like randomly start digging in a city park. And one day he was jogging.
Don't ask for permission.
Don't ask, just do.
Yeah.
Pretend you're picking up your dog's poop.
It's way down here.
Plastic bag on your hand. Just start digging. It's real in there. He had diarrhea. Seeped into the soil. One day while he was jogging, he noticed the park was surrounded by construction fencing, and they were about to tear that shit up and give the park a major renovation. So he went and found the site's foreman and explained the situation, and they were just like, "You're crazy. That's
right.
Weird. There's no treasure buried under this park." But you know, whatever. Can't blame the guy for being skeptical.
"No, I know it's not really a treasure. It's
oh, Jamara, I'm gonna fucking kill you." Anyways, Jason went home and immediately emailed the construction company, like letting them know, just like, "Can you let me know when you start digging in this general area? I'm looking for a plexiglass box with some ceramic inside of it, blah, blah, blah. That's the treasure. Y'all have heard of it. Like, this isn't new to anyone. Like, by now, people have sussed out that Boston is one of the cities for the treasure. So, you know, they know."
I'm sure they just don't care.
They do care. They do care.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, that man that was there didn't care.
Originally, he didn't care. So they were just like, "Hey, keep an eye out. Like, let me know if you find anything." And they never responded to that email. But, you know, I guess word still traveled because they were just like, "This fucking guy thinks there's a treasure buried under here." Was that Boston or New York? I don't know what accent I just did, but
I hated it.
it was great. Months later, when they started digging, a worker operating an excavator around home plate of the softball field heard something break as he was digging. He got out and saw shards of plexiglass and a few pieces of ceramic. The next day, Jason got an email from the construction company describing what they found. And he was like, "It's go time, bitch!" And he raced over there to identify the pieces and just like make sure this is actually what he fucking thinks it is. And it matched the other casks. It was the same sculpting. It had a little clock on the inside of the lid. It was in shards, but he was finding pieces. So they returned to the dig site. Like he literally like called or emailed like Josh Gates the next day and was just like, "I found one of the fucking treasures. Please come film this." And Josh like left one of the episodes that he was filming in like another country and like raced over because it was like, it's that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. And so, yeah, they made it there, and they filmed as they dug the remaining pieces of the cask as well as the key from the earth. Shortly after, Jason and his family traveled to New York to claim the prize as part of a ceremony at the Brooklyn Historical Society. They received a green gemstone known as a peridot, and it was given to them by Byron's widow, Sandy, and their 2 daughters, which was like really cute in the episode. They were just like really, they were so moved that some like people are still out there looking for these treasures. The men who found the previous treasures were also in attendance at the ceremony, as well as the artists who assist in the creation of the clues. I'm going to link in the show notes a whole bunch of sources, like a whole bunch. And they're just like interesting reads. And there's also like a bunch of sites that have like all the clues broken down. If you guys want to start hunting on your own, you know, with permission, of course. I know like next time I go to St. Augustine, I might take a gander around and see what I can see.
Okay.
Happy hunting is the end of my story. But like also what I want to say is I really want to find that St. Augustine one, but I do think it's in the Fountain of Youth, which is a park that cannot be dug.
So
let's do it.
Rules are made to be broken.
So like in the first episode of his like hunt, one of the places they went to like Milwaukee, which is where they got really, really close. And then they went to St. Augustine and they did like ground penetrating radar and like had a whole bunch of hits, but like, you know, you could only dig up so many things and they just didn't find anything. And I'm just like, ugh. It just sucks because like with the passage of time, everything just changes. And like one of the clues in the St. Augustine one is, you know, like it's where like a green picket fence like meets a tall tree and it's at the base of a tall tree or whatever. All of those trees have since been like landscaped around 40 years. I mean, hurricanes, just like everything's changed that landscape. The green picket fence is still there, but like it's just really sad. But like I was reading about it and the crazy thing is like the St. Augustine Historical Society, they still get 5 to 6 requests a month to dig for the treasure.
Aww.
And I was like, people still out there doing the good work.
And that's just people that request it.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of that.
I mean, you can't just go fucking digging in a national park. You will get arrested.
I would have never thought, like
it's protected ground.
I mean, I've definitely dug a hole in shit in the woods in national parks, so
I think like camping grounds are kind of different.
Okay.
But like you can't just like, you know, like a nature park or something where it's like a preserved like park. I don't think you can just go upturn the soil. But yeah, that was cool, right? Y'all want to go treasure hunt?
I'm so glad that you did this.
Really? Why?
It was very interesting.
It's fucking fascinating. I really, 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 really suggest that you watch it. I think it's on HBO Max. I think HBO Max has all the Discovery shows now. But it's crazy. That's really sad because like it was in 2019 that the last treasure was found, and that probably will be the last treasure we ever find because 40 years of like development on the land and landscaping and just fucking slapping storage units everywhere that there's a free space of land is ruining everything.
I know, build affordable housing.
I was like so excited. There is the produce market that I used to go to. Like I was like, oh my God, there's a coming soon sign. Oh my God, are they going to reopen the produce market? That's my favorite place. You can get like a whole ass bucket of red peppers for like $1. It was amazing. Coming soon. Storage unit. And I'm like, there's literally like 6 storage units on that strip. Do we need another one? Jeez. Stop buying stuff and then you won't need a storage unit.
Right.
Why don't you get rid of some stuff you have? But yeah, that's my story.
That was really good.
Thanks.
Bravo.
Thanks.
I'm really proud of you.
Do you want to end the episode?
I guess so.
You're the one that starts the end.
Oh, okay. You're waiting for me.
I don't know what to say.
So
Neither does she. Send your stories to fearfulfriendspodcast@gmail.com, please. Follow us on Instagram at fearfulfriendspodcast. Follow us on TikTok at
Fearful Friends Podcast.
Oh, also that. And happy fucking hunting. Yeah. Do it. Look it up. Look at some of the clues. It's great. I'll post them in the show notes. Goodbye.
Bye.